Yes, AB, we can start.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Chak Friday with me, AB. And hopefully, we shall have a good session today. And also, hopefully, you'll take away some kind of learning that we usually share this Friday. हमारे साथ आज मौजूद है रिचा गुप्ता जी और let's meet Richa ji and find out where is she joining us from. बताइए रिचा जी, something about yourself and where are you joining from?
Okay, I'm from Delhi and South Delhi, actually, Friends Colony, and I write books, and I've written 3, 4 books have been published, and I've just submitted a new manuscript to Suhail Mathur, who's my literary agent, for this book, and I've been a teacher of English, and I've worked as an editor also. So that has been my long story and long and short of it, in fact. And right now I'm retired and just writing.
Okay. And when did you retire?
I took an early retirement and I joined the corporate sector. I had also worked in the corporate sector before. And then I had gone on to teaching and kept working with I had one foot in the corporate sector, one foot, I was doing consultancy for e-learning courses. And I went back to the corporate sector, retired as a teacher, went back to the corporate sector. Then I was with Encyclopedia Britannica for a while as their,
Wow.
somebody taking care of their English language courses. And then I stopped working in 2018.
Okay. So अभी retirement में अब कैसा महसूस हो रहा है आपको?
I'm
Retirement के
enjoying
बाद?
it. I'm enjoying it, because now I don't have to do work as work. I can just, do things which I enjoy and which I like to do.
Super. And if I may ask, you have children?
I have one son, and he's got a little baby, and he's married,
Oh,
and
nice.
he's settled in Bangalore.
So you're a grandmom now.
Yes, yes. I became a grandmom
Awesome.
about 2 months back.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Super.
Thank you.
So now mother and now grandmother. What do you
Yes.
feel?
But, the baby is not here with me. That's what I regret. I wish they could come here, but they were both working over there, so I can't really, enforce that. So I miss the baby, being with the baby.
And of course, Delhi AQI is not exactly, healthy, compared to the rest of the country.
Sorry?
So the Delhi air quality,
Yeah. Yeah, the Delhi air
that's
quality is now a little better. I
better.
think it's the season. So November is the worst. November, it's terrible. You just can't
Right.
take it at times. But now it's a little better.
Superb. So thank you so much for joining this evening. This is what I come across on all Fridays. I come and do a little bit of a motivational session where I
Oh,
meet
okay.
seniors.
Okay.
Gen S
Okay.
is a platform for seniors 60 plus. You must check us out. Do download the app. Great content and great facilities, including personal accident benefits and insurance, cybersecurity insurance, hospicash, all of that, medical insurance. Everything is packed into this lovely product called
Mm-hmm.
Gen S Life. You must download the app and check it out.
Okay.
Today, I'm going to talk about unleashing the potential.
Okay.
If I tell you that when you look in the mirror, what do you
Mm-hmm.
see? What do you see when you look in the mirror? What do you see,
What do I
Richa ji?
see?
Hmm.
Oh, I see somebody who's, young at heart, but has all the frailties that come with age. I see weak knees and all the rest of it. And yet I have that wish and longing that I could do everything I did when I was young. I could do when I was
Right.
young.
Right. So when you look in the mirror, you must also realize that you're looking at a person who still has immense amount of potential within them, right?
Right,
And
right.
also the fact that all of us live our lives very differently.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you I am holding a rose in my hand,
Mm-hmm.
I may think it's a yellow rose. You might think it's a red rose. Somebody will think it's a white rose. Somebody will
Right.
think it's not bloomed yet, right?
Yeah.
Somebody will see thorns on the stalk. So all
Right.
of us have different perspectives with which we have lived our lives, and that makes us unique. So when you look in the mirror, you have to see that this person still has potential in them and also holds the key to a very, very unique perspective, right?
Right.
Sometimes, we get stuck, and this happens to every one of us. We sort of get stuck by self-doubt or by
Mm-hmm.
old patterns or
Right.
simply feeling like, like something is missing. So
Yeah.
today I'm going to try and help you to hopefully see, and of course everybody who's watching, to see how
Mm-hmm.
we can break free from those limitations and sort of step into a more empowered and fulfilling life. You know,
Okay.
the
Okay.
yeah. So the first
Yeah.
thing is the power of interpretation.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the
Mm-hmm.
core insights is that it's not events that themselves that dictate our experience, but
Mm-hmm.
rather the meaning we attach to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
think
Yeah.
about it. Now, two
Yeah.
people can go through the exact same situation, right? Which is say
Right.
a job loss or a
Yeah.
difficult conversation or a setback, and have completely different reactions. One might
Right.
feel very defeated and hopeless, while the other sees it as an opportunity for growth and a new direction,
Right.
right? We
Right.
interpret things, our experience of the world is not a direct reflection of reality, but rather an interpretation of it.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. So think of it,
Absolutely.
yeah, so like think of it like the same raw data,
Mm-hmm.
an unexpected email, a critical comment, a change in plans, enters
Mm-hmm.
different computer systems, which is our mind, and
Mm-hmm.
produces vastly different outputs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is our feelings and reactions, right?
Yeah.
So, for
Yeah.
example, you might tell me, um, you know, I don't like your writing, or
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like your book.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I may react to your statement as,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she's got something personal against me, or
Yeah.
she doesn't understand what I've written, or
Mm-hmm.
I can turn back to you and constructively ask you, what is it exactly that you didn't like, for
Right.
feedback for my own personal growth and understanding,
Yeah.
right? So the
Yeah.
input is the same, but the
Yeah.
outcome is different.
Yeah.
And that is what messes with us most of the times, because we assign stories, stories to the things that we experience,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So there's a philosopher who said that people are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them,
Right.
you know.
Right. Yes.
And so we have to, whenever we are thinking of an action point or things to do, or if somebody tells us something, before we react negatively or even react, think
Mm-hmm.
about, think, are we attaching stories to this? Are we attaching a meaning that is
Mm-hmm.
not there
Yeah.
to the simple statement that they have said? You know,
Correct. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so like, for example, consider the story of Malala Yousafzai, shot in the
Yeah.
head for advocating girls' education, horrific event, right? And yet
Right.
Malala chose to interpret this tragedy not as an end,
Mm-hmm.
but a powerful call to action, right? So she started on this
Mm-hmm.
epic journey to
Mm-hmm.
empower other women. She
Right.
transformed her pain into a global platform. She could have easily played victim.
Yeah.
She could
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
easily played victim, saying, "Oh my God, look what has happened to me, la 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 la," all of that.
Yeah.
But she
Yeah.
chose to channelize that pain and that hurt into something different,
Correct.
you
Yeah.
know. Or
Yeah.
even take the inspirational story of
Mm-hmm.
Nick Vujicic, born without
Mm-hmm.
limbs. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right.
Mm-hmm.
So by societal standards, he faced insurmountable limitations. He was born without limbs, and yet
Mm-hmm.
Nick chose to interpret his physical, limitations and turned it
Mm-hmm.
into his core strength on the message of hope. And
Mm-hmm.
he put that message out across the world and connected with people. So our interpretations often become so ingrained that we mistake them for objective truth.
Right, right.
We might think, oh, this always happens to me. Oh,
Yeah,
or I'm just not good at this.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we keep telling ourselves so many times
Mm,
that the lie or the
mm,
assumption becomes the truth in our subconscious,
mm,
and that limits our actions, that
mm,
influences our decisions, and
mm,
that also attaches this entire story to our
mm,
being when there isn't any story,
mm.
right?
Correct.
So for the next 24 hours, so this is an action point, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Rita ji. For the
Yeah,
next 24 hours, become aware of the stories you're telling yourself about your
right,
life, your
right,
relationships, and your capabilities. When
right.
when you notice a negative or a limiting thought, ask yourself, what is the underlying assumption here? Why did I react or think of it this way? Is
Right.
there any evidence to absolutely support this as the only truth?
Yeah.
What would a more resourceful or optimistic interpretation be? What
Mm,
could my interpretation, how could I interpret this to empower
mm-hmm.
myself and not limit myself,
Right.
right? So a lot of the times when we try something new, like when I started writing, and I got my first writing, contract from Penguin, I
Mm-hmm.
was overwhelmed. I was very overwhelmed, and I said, okay, I wanted to become a writer. Now I have a contract. Am I good enough to be a writer?
Mm-hmm.
Will
Yeah.
I be able to, I mean, do justice to this
Mm.
to this little penguin that we
Right,
have
right,
grown
right.
up seeing since our
Yeah.
childhood, you know? So I got into a bit of a self-doubt, and I said, listen, I manifested the fact that I wanted to be an author.
Mm.
The opportunity has showed up on my door. At best, the editor will say, write it again. But if
Right.
I don't put my pen to paper, I
Mm-hmm.
would miss out on the first step itself, and I would block my entire progress. And
Mm.
how would I know if
Mm-hmm.
my writing is good enough if
Mm-hmm.
I hold it only to myself? I
Mm.
have to let the other person read it as well and say, hey, listen, it's good or it's bad. Oh, you can make changes here.
Mm.
So then I had to say, go with it. So
Right,
so that's
right.
the power of interpretation and attaching stories and
Yeah.
meaning which sort of limit ourselves, right?
Right.
Have you ever faced this kind of a situation where you've attached, and now that I've told you, when you think
Yeah.
about it, have you ever sort of faced a situation where you attached a meaning to something that wasn't there and then sort of regretted it, or came to terms with it?
Yeah, that has happened several times. In fact, when I hear an adverse comment, my thought immediately runs to, why did she say this?
Hmm.
Why was this said? Maybe there is something that I've said wrong or done wrong, or there must be some trait in me which has caused this, Almost every time I do this. So recently, for example, I had started a music group. We all used to collect and, we used to call a singer and share the expense of the singer between us. And it was going very well. People loved it and everybody had a good time. But there was this one lady who was constantly putting forth objections, like she kept saying,
Hmm.
this is not good enough. That should not be there. Why did you say this to her? Why did you ask the artist to come at this time, etc., etc.? So I was very upset. I said, this lady has something against me. She's definitely got some axe to grind with me, and she's doing this deliberately because of this reason, that reason. I attributed 100 different reasons to it. Everybody
Hmm.
tried to intervene and patch us up and things. So I said, let me forget it and let us go on to the evening and let's see what happens. So the evening came and went, and you won't believe it. She was so cooperative throughout the evening that, I just forgot all the negative comments she had said, and it would turned out so beautifully that at the end I thanked her in my vote of thanks. I really thanked her for helping me throughout the evening. And I told her that she had given constructive criticism throughout, and I was very grateful for that.
So
So,
yeah.
her entire attitude changed. She became so effusive and warm, and, everything became so smooth.
So
So, I
she was as stressed out about the event as you were, and
exactly,
she was trying to make it as perfect as possible for
exactly.
everybody else. Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
we have someone else joining us who's shown up as Daksha Dilip. Please introduce yourself, and it would be great to see your face. So please turn on the camera. Daksha ji, you're on mute. Okay. Till Daksha ji manages to unmute herself. So
Mhm.
the first point was the power of interpretation and adding meanings and stories where there isn't. And the second point is breaking free from being right.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Another powerful concept from this idea is we often get caught up in the need to be right and to
correct.
look good and to look good,
Yes, yes, yes.
right? So
Very much so.
yeah. So this constant striving can lead to very defensiveness or closed-mindedness, and
Yes,
a reluctance to take risks and or even admit mistakes because
right.
we don't want to come across as uh, you know as looking bad. We
Yeah.
become more invested in proving our point than in
Hmm.
creating a connection or achieving a desired outcome. The
Correct.
need, there's a constant need to validate worth, our own worth, through external approval or by always being perceived as, being correct. So
Right.
this constant striving to look good and be right can create immense pressure.
Right.
And we
Yeah.
become focused on protecting our own image
Yes. Yes.
rather than authentic interaction. And we shut ourselves and we don't listen.
Yeah.
We don't listen because
Right.
suddenly it becomes all about ourselves and it
Right.
limits us. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of the times also people don't like opening up or
Hmm.
admitting their mistakes, or the fact that they don't know.
Hmm.
They think that, oh, dunya kya kahegi?
Yes.
What
Correct.
will the world think of me? Oh,
Yeah.
they'll think I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll think I'm unpad.
Hmm.
Or if I admit my mistake, I will look smaller than the other
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
ईगो
True.
का ईगो का
Very
बहुत
much.
खेल होता है.
Yeah.
ईगो का तो
Yeah.
बहुत बड़ा खेल है इसमें. एंड
Right.
so vulnerability जो है हमारा,
Mm-hmm.
vulnerability is not weakness, it's our greatest measure of courage.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
need to always be right often stems from a fear of being seen as vulnerable, weak, or imperfect.
Right. Right.
You know,
Correct.
it comes from a fear of judgment, of being seen as inadequate, and
Yes.
it stops us from taking action because हम वही डर जाते हैं
Hmm.
कि अगर मैं ये अटेम्प्ट किया और मैं फेल हो गया,
Huh.
I will look like a fool.
Correct, correct.
you know.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
true confidence, comes not from always being right, but from the
Hmm.
courage to be ourselves,
Hmm.
fl- flaws and everything included, and to
Yes.
learn from experience. So
Hmm.
the action point for this is in your next conversation where you feel
Hmm.
the urge to defend yourself,
Yeah.
think अरे मैं तो सही था.
Huh.
Just
Huh.
pause, ask
Huh.
yourself, what is more important here?
Yeah.
Is it being right, or
Hmm.
is it achieving a positive outcome or strengthening the relationship?
Hmm. Correct.
है ना?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
try actively listening to the other person's perspective,
Hmm.
and look for the validity in their point of view.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because and of course, if you make a mistake, acknowledge it
Hmm.
openly.
Hmm.
Acknowledge it.
Hmm.
One
Yeah.
of those things is Edison, I think, uh, uh, was it failed, 900 times and all of that. And they said, but, now he still continued because he said, now I know that these 900 times is the way not to do that thing,
Hmm.
right? So he wanted
Yeah.
to, so there's always a new way. So if you've made a mistake, acknowledge it, learn from it,
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than try to cover it up.
Correct.
When you cover it up, a lie is born, and
Hmm.
then you really get into trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I think there's a shift we need to have in our approach, that we
Hmm.
might not be always right, and it's not about being right.
Yeah.
It's
True.
about being truthful and genuine,
Yeah.
right?
Correct. Right.
We
Correct.
have we have somebody else who's joined us, Meena Turakia. Good evening, namaskar, or if you can turn on your cameras, that will be good. It is not about looking good. It's about being in the session face to face. So it will be good to see our faces, and also listen to your voice. Second one was not third is creating new possibilities through language, which is about manifestations and declarations.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
statements create a new reality simply by being spoken with conviction.
Right.
When we declare a possibility,
Hmm.
we shift from merely wishing or hoping to
Hmm.
actively bringing something into being, to creating
Hmm.
it. You know,
Hmm.
it's not saying ki, oh, I wish I had 1,000 rupees.
Hmm.
No, I have 1,000 rupees
Yeah.
because you've manifested it, right?
Yeah.
And it's not about, and again, manifestation and declaration is not about, magical thinking, you know, कि
Hmm.
मैं बोला तो हो गया. It's about the
Hmm.
power of intention and the
Hmm.
commitment that comes with it. So when I say I have 1,000 rupees, that is
Hmm.
my that is my manifestation. Now, how am I going to achieve the 1,000 rupees? Is my
Hmm.
commitment to it,
Right.
right? As soon as you've wished for something or you've manifested something, it immediately backs up. Your mind itself trains you and says, "Okay, you want a
Hmm.
thousand bucks, now go get it."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever you can do, as Goethe said, whatever you can do or dream, you can begin it.
Hmm.
Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. And a
Hmm.
declaration or a manifestation is the
Hmm.
first step in that bold beginning.
Hmm.
Like I
Right.
love one of my favorite quotes from Walt Disney is, all our
Hmm.
dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. You
Right.
know, so
Actually,
a
you have to
clear,
perceive it first before you can achieve it. Yeah.
absolutely. So a
Vision
clear
is very
declaration,
important.
yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, your vision board, your manifestation.
Yeah.
A clear declaration is often the first courageous step in that pursuit, right?
Right.
So you've heard of this American Hollywood actor called Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I have.
Yeah, yeah. So before becoming a global comedy icon, he was a
Mm-hmm.
struggling actor,
Mm-hmm.
facing numerous rejections, but he wanted to become a famous actor and he wanted to be, big in
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did was to solidify this vision and declare his intention to the universe and
Mm-hmm.
himself. He
Mm-hmm.
wrote a check for $10 million
Mm-hmm.
for acting services rendered and dated it 10 years in the future and
Mm-hmm.
kept that check in his wallet as a constant reminder of his goal.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't just wish for success, he actively visualized it,
Mm-hmm.
declared it,
Mm-hmm.
and importantly, continued to work tirelessly on his craft. Years later, after achieving the phenomenal success, he reportedly found that very check in his wallet, a tangible symbol of the power of his declared intention
Yeah.
and belief.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this,
True.
so this
Very good.
story, this story isn't about the check magically producing the money.
Hmm.
Instead, the act of writing it down, holding
Hmm.
on to it, and constantly visualizing the outcome served as a powerful anchor for Jim
Hmm.
Carrey's focus and determination.
Yeah.
Right? The
Yeah.
declaration acted as a compass and
Yeah.
guided his efforts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a declaration or a manifestation is just more than just a statement; it's a commitment. So when
Yeah.
we declare something, we align our thoughts, our energy, our actions towards making it a
Mm-hmm.
reality.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so the action point is identify one area of your life where you feel stuck or where you have a desire for something new.
Mm-hmm.
Formulate a clear and concise declaration. For example,
Mm-hmm.
instead of thinking, I wish I was more confident,
Mm-hmm.
declare, I am creating a life filled with confidence and self assurance.
Mm-hmm.
Write it
Mm-hmm.
down, say it aloud, and start taking small, consistent actions towards
Mm-hmm.
declaration.
Yeah.
So this becomes your future check, you know,
Right.
for
Right.
your own personal growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these insights, like the power of interpretation, the freedom from from the need to be right, and the creative force of language, offer us the practical tools to navigate our lives with greater awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And the journey of personal growth, of course, is ongoing. किसी एक
Mm-hmm.
दिन we don't just wake up and say, hey, listen, we are perfect, right? वो तो होता नहीं है.
Mm-hmm.
हर दिन एक नई सीख मिलते हैं हमें. A new lesson, a new chapter in our life begins. So this
Mm-hmm.
ongoing journey of life, it requires courage, self-reflection, commitment
Mm-hmm.
to action.
Mm-hmm.
So I encourage you to take action points we discussed tonight and this evening, and
Mm-hmm.
integrate them into your daily life by
Mm-hmm.
consciously choosing your own interpretations, releasing the
Mm-hmm.
need to be always right, and boldly declaring the possibilities that you want to change in your life, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us, Richa ji.
Thank you.
Have you ever experienced the power of manifestation where something has happened like this?
Well, yes, several times. Actually, when I retired from work, I was just thinking that I'd love to write. For a long time, I'd been thinking that, I would just love to give up everything and just sit back and just do my writing and painting. I paint also, and just do
Wow.
writing and painting. So it wasn't really happening. And then somehow, I don't know, I got the finances also to be able to do that. Earlier, I did not have the finances, and I had to keep working to get enough to put bread on the table. But I somehow got all the finances that I was longing for, And I was able to sit back and do that, just paint and write. So I mean, that was something which I had been manifesting for a long time, and I was working towards that, when I could give up the rest of my chores and all that work, which was really work and not, pleasure. And I was able to do that. So that is one thing which I think I
Awesome.
achieved. Yeah.
Awesome. See the power of manifestation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
दक्षा जी का माइक अभी तक ऑन नहीं हुआ. दक्षा जी,
Yeah, yeah. Now it's so on.
ऑन. आप कहाँ से ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं हमें?
Mumbai से.
मुंबई से. अच्छा, तो आपको कुछ कहना है आज के सेशन के बारे में?
नहीं, आज का सेशन अच्छा लगा, जो कि एक्चुअली स्पीकिंग आई जॉइन वेरी लेट. अच्छा लगा कि मैनिफेस्टो, यस यू विल अचीव. अगर आप दिल में रखते हो तो जरूर अचीव कर सकते हैं. इवन दो माई सेल्फ, आई एम एक्चुअली एज बाय 74, but
वाह.
after retirement, what
हाँ
we
जी.
have to do, I do not have any thing in my mind. But one thing that I love dance, and I thought just I wanted to make a dance. I wanted to dance, but that's it. And later on, I have joined also, and I have achieved. But after some time, I felt sick, and I could not walk also. But somehow I got runner people in my contact. And later on, Are, they are running, why I can't? And I have done myself. Come on, Daksha, you can. Yes. And you believe, at the age of 65, I have run 100 kilometers.
Oh, wow.
वाह.
Wow.
It's a
दक्षा
Excellent.
जी
real,
शक्ल दिखाइए. दक्षा जी शक्ल दिखाइए. हमें देखना है इस इंसान को जो 100 किलोमीटर. ओ गॉड ब्लेस यू.
I'm
सुपर.
so inspired by her.
yeah,
सुपर.
because even though after some time, later on, that is just I watch, Are Baba, abhi nahi hoga, like that. Then somebody, I was from Pinkathon, so they have declared some run from Mumbai to Pune. मतलब यार मुझे लेंगे क्या उसमें, I will run or not, I don't know. Means before 100 kilometer, they will take or not. They are telling, अरे why not? You can. चलो, come on. Give the what I meant to say. They are taking some techniques for us कि 6 hour तो रन आपको करना है करके. मैं बोला बाप रे, 6 hour who will do? Not possible, not possible. But I बोला ट्राई करने में हर्ज क्या है. यानी
एग्जैक्टली.
yes, you make it try, it happens. It happens. And I did it. Later on, I have done so many things. I ran Mumbai to Pune, Silvassa to Mumbai,
Oh,
and
my.
reverse from Pune to Mumbai. And I
वाह.
told that 100 kilometers in 24 hours. Means we have to
वाह.
run continuously. But yes, now also I do, but not run. But now I do jog walk, as my age is not permitting to run so much. And due to my medical history, I have to come down. But yes, once in a year, I do 50 kilometer at least in 12 hours.
लवली.
So yeah,
वेल
Nice.
डन.
that I have done. So I'm
कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन.
happy whatever you told that. Yes, मैनिफेस्टो अगर आप दिल में रखते हो तो सारी कायनात उसके पास जुड़ जाती है.
करेक्ट.
आपका
ये तो शाहरुख वाली डायलॉग आपने बता दिया. देखिए,
तो
आप अभी आपकी जगह दीपिका पादुकोण की जगह कौन आएगा आपके पास अभी? अभी
ओ
देखिए. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग. एंड
थैंक
अगले
यू.
फ्राइडे फिर मिलेंगे 4 बजे. इस बार लेट मत होइएगा. 4 बजे
Yeah,
आप
sure,
आ जाइए. हाउ डिड
sure.
यू कम टू नो अबाउट द सेशन टुडे?
In a just walk, I am this one just walk. This one through
ओके.
that I got this one link.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would request both of you to download our app. It's free. इट्स कॉल्ड जेनेस लाइव। वो दोनों
Okay.
एंड्रॉयड और आईफोन में है। तो क्योंकि हर शाम को 4 बजे कोई ना कोई लाइव शो होता रहता है, तो
अच्छा।
Okay.
बहुत बहुत मजे के सेशंस होते हैं। तो यू कैन ट्यून इन एवरी डे एट 4 o'clock, बट यू मस्ट ट्यून इन फॉर माई सेशन एट 4 o'clock ऑन फ्राइडे। तो एकदम दिल टूट जाएगा, मतलब दिल टूट जाएगा।
Sure,
And
sure, sure.
do
Yeah.
check us out and check our app out. बहुत कुछ है, बहुत कुछ है, और lots of benefits for you as well. So do check
Mm-hmm.
the app out. And
Okay.
फिर मिलेंगे अगले फ्राइडे। और जो हमें यूट्यूब में देख रहे हैं और स्ट्रीमिंग में देख रहे हैं, टू जॉइन मी एंड पार्टिसिपेट, subscribe to Genes Life, an online and offline platform for today's 60 plus, where we live life bindas. You can WhatsApp me on 8828881606 to share anything on today's topic, or if you have any questions for me or anything to share. And till we meet again next Friday, God bless, stay safe, stay healthy,
Thank you.
always laugh. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Bye
you.
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye.